everyone, so today I am in Derbyshire. This is the site of the Cromford and High Peak Railway down there. I'm stood directly above the portal of the tunnel that's not actually a tunnel. A lot of people mistake it for Burbage Tunnel, probably when they're going past Macclesfield Road up there. I've got old Macclesfield Road behind me. That used to be an old coach road before the new one was constructed. Now then, come to see a few things related to this area. We used to have Goyt Colliery over there. That closed a long time ago. Even on the old maps, the late 1800s, it says colliery disused. I'll show you on the map when we get there. Now, we're coming to have a look at two culverts just down there. One of them I've done before, but never walked through it. I climbed up a cascade of water. The other one is one that I didn't notice last time that we're going to look at. And then we're going to further advance our way off towards Goyt Colliery. This land, what was Goyt Colliery, there's some mysterious stuff there, including mysterious shafts, sluices and some abandoned kilns. I'm not doing it on my own today. I'm waiting for James and of course Martin Zero. His channel is coming up on the screen down below, but I'm sure a lot of you know about it. So I'm waiting for them, and as usual, they're running late. Here they come, look, just over an hour late. I think we need to cue some Last of the Summer Wine soundtrack. It's just whoever is compo, cleggy and foggy. I want to know who's going to blame who for being late.
I blame Martin.
Yeah?
I blame Martin. Don't you? It's Martin. He's always late.
Who was last to get picked up?
Him.
Well, he wanted to go for a breakfast, what took 3 hours. He recommended this breakfast, it took 3 hours.
Do you know what? I've had my birthday, I've proposed and got married in the time I've been waiting for these to turn up. And you weren't even invited, were you? You screwed that now, haven't you?
Goyt Colliery was situated west of Buxton beside the village of Burbage. Coal extraction in the Goyt Valley began as early as the 17th century, primarily to supply fuel for lime burning. The mine was modest in scale, with activity peaking between 1780 and 1880, and coal was extracted using drift mining techniques where horizontal tunnels were driven into the hillside. The Goyt Colliery ceased operations in 1898, with other nearby coal workings continuing until 1919. And whilst nature has reclaimed much of the site, remnants of the colliery's industrial past remain. And that is what we've come to see today. So if we take a look at Google Earth, I can show you exactly where we are today and what we're looking at. We're just to the west of Burbage Village on the right hand side, which is next to Buxton, and we've got the former Cromford and High Peak track bed just here curving around. Now there are a couple of culverts to look at here and also a bit of the railway tunnel. If we zoom out somewhat, I can show you exactly where all the little locations are we're looking at today. There's some real oddities and mysteries to be seen. Now, panning around, you can see this expanse just there. We've got the village of Burbage in the bottom right hand corner, and Goyt Colliery situated in the middle of a kind of a triangle where the main Cromford and High Peak track bed curved around underneath Macclesfield Old Road on the right hand side. Let's jump to an older map and I'll show you exactly what we're going to look at first. So here we go, look, Cromford and High Peak Railway on the right, and we've got the River Wye going through, marked up in blue. Look, we've got Macclesfield Old Road here, and we're going to be taking a look at the railway bridge that often is mistaken as Burbage Tunnel. Two culverts to look at, one going below the track bed and one that was man-made a short while later when there was the Burbage Reservoir next to Burbage Village. And we've also got a couple of shafts to look at and also some kilns. There's some real odd mysteries to be seen in this one.
So we've got James, Martin and the resident Beaver. Now, do you live up there?
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you got up there? Because this is by far quite a unique thing to look at, isn't it? Yeah. You've got the old Cromford and High Peak Railway above and the River Wye cascades down here. And you can see there's a lot of erosion just there, not on the Beaver, but on the steps behind, where the water actually passes below. Look at that stone, it's almost like witchcraft, isn't it? So this is not where we're going to begin. We're going to look at another culvert down there first. So have you been here before?
Never been here before, no.
So we've got this to look at, two culverts, kilns, we've got the old Goyt Colliery as well, and a tunnel that is not a tunnel. So right here we've got a very short culvert now. It's going under the hillside, and over the back there was where Burbage Reservoir was. Now, although the embankment on this side wasn't there to hold back the waters of the reservoir, you can see those lumps in the land as if this hill is not natural, as if it's man-made. Now, it could be spoil from the colliery, Goyt Colliery, which was the other side of the Crompton High Peak Railway. Could also have been from where it was dug out from Burbage Reservoir on the opposite side.
And in this old map, look, you can see a huge chunk of it is covered by Burbage Reservoir. That's been completely filled in now, but the land around has been built up to support the weight and the height of this reservoir, hasn't it, to shore it up. And this would have involved sending the River Wye below some of this ground that we are looking at, and that is why this culvert is here that we're going to look at first. If we jump to the map to how it is today, you can see there's no trace of that reservoir whatsoever, but roughly where those trees are just here is where the culvert still goes below the spoil from when this reservoir was created.
So we're now going to head on inside this very first culvert. This is the first of two. Enjoy.
Okay.
Right, there's Compo, Cleggy and Foggy, and they're about to go into the first culvert. What's your first thoughts on this then?
It's very dark, isn't it?
It often is.
Well, this would have been ideal, wouldn't it? If they bring boots.
I walked through there in flipping walking shoes, I was fine. So both stone walls up there at two separate angles, upright, across, and then around about a 45-degree angle outwards to the brook just there, the river. Now, if I tread carefully, I think I should be able to do this without getting my feet wet. There we go, look. So we can see inside. Now it does appear to go around a bend. And let's see how slip it is. It's not bad. So there we go, look. It's not very long, but let's pass through as best we can. So of course you're going to get a reverberation of my voice and also the water rushing through. So we're a short way in. It's beautiful and sunny outside. I've not seen any dangling spiders yet, so that's nice. And immediately, look, we're at the curve. And you can just make out the portal on the eastern side, look. Now it looks like we can get all the way to the other end, so it is going to straighten out, look. Turn you around. There we go. And probably about halfway around the bend. Notice the stonework at the bottom. There are a few access points for water to be drained in. But now look, we're at that straight section, heading all the way down. And it looks like there's quite a collection of water at the far end. And just coming to the other end, I'm not going to be able to show you the portal from the outside then, because as you can see it is getting extremely wide, which means it's getting deep. So I shall inch forward just a little bit more, really straddling the legs. And there it is. You can see it's got a stone on both sides again, and also some stone buttons with coping stones as well. Okay, I'm going to straddle back a little bit where it's not as wide, and then there we go, look at that. Let's get out where we came in. honestly, I'm waiting for them three to come out, and it's like listening to a mother's meeting. They're just all like laughing, chuckling, and bickering amongst each other.
Some of us go the easy way across the river. What does he do?
Oh,
He's breaking his legs. He told you about his leg.
No, what, you did see your leg?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I've got a terrible, awful, deep puncture wound. Oh. Do you know, these little places just fail to disappoint. That is stunning. I want to get us closer. Oh, it actually looks like there's an old millstone or something there. Look. It's got a hole in the middle. It's like a belly button. Right. So when I came here before, there was too much water coming down here and it was exceptionally slippy and dangerous to go in there. So this time I bought insurance. If I fall, I land on them.
Mind the damp step.
But down at the top there's less water, isn't there? And it's quite dry on the edges. So I think I'm going to give it a go. But that is just phenomenal, isn't it? Stood inside. I didn't get to do this last time, but it's a lot drier. I can stand on here with no issues whatsoever. It's straight, this one. And the water, when I come last time, was pretty much running maybe about half a foot from each wall on both sides. Now there's plenty of drainage channels dropping down, because of course above us we have the Culvert and High Peak Railway. There is quite a gradient to this. It's a bit of a slope up just there. I think you might just be able to make that out. And that's looking back to the outfall. So I'm probably about halfway through just here. So we're out the other end of that culvert with the cascade, and it's probably one of the best ones that I've seen. It's short and sweet, but that cascade of water coming up. Oh, what? Who are you?
Hello?
Do you live in there?
Yes.
Oh, how long have you been there?
Too long.
So now it's time to take a look at the bridge that is not a tunnel, where the Macclesfield Old Road and Buxton Old Coachway passes over the former Cromford and High Peak Railway. If we zoom in just a little bit more, you can see exactly where we are. So there's the culvert just there that we just passed below the track bed, and our bridge that we're gonna have a little look inside and light it up is situated right here.
So this, I believe, is often mistaken for being Burbage Tunnel. Burbage Tunnel is just beyond this, and then a little bit over there. Probably be about a 5 to 10 minutes walk away from here as you get up towards where Irwood Reservoir is. Irwood Reservoir being further on from the tunnel. I think this is some kind of overbridge. You got the main road just there. That goes off towards Macclesfield, and I think a lot of people go along that road and think this is the tunnel. So here's a photo of the line coming from Ladmanlow. This is the A54. Macclesfield would be going behind us, and you'd head towards Buxton, going below the bridge. That bridge was removed in 1954. And here's that photo again showing the track bed coming away from the bridge and going off towards the old Macclesfield Road. And this is where the old Macclesfield Road used to cross, often mistaken as Burbage Tunnel Portal. You can see the track bed curving around. That's not long after closure, is it? Because I think the track bed must have been lifted around about 1954 when the bridge was indeed taken down, or just prior to that. And a much closer image showing the track bed going towards Burbage Tunnel and Waverley Bridge. This section abandoned in 1892, and the buffer stops and track again was taken away in the early 1950s. A little look at the maps from 1892 as well show you that the track does stop just prior to this bridge just here, look. So that just shows you that that track bed was long out of use. You've got the old Goyt Colliery, also noted as being disused because they would have used the track bed further up to Burbage Tunnel to access Goyt Colliery, so that's obviously closed prior to 1892 as well. And you can see the River Wye going underneath the railway embankment. So I can walk you in a little bit. See, it has been infilled, look. It has been just there as well, not at track bed level. Oh, that's protruding down just there, isn't it? But this must be great for livestock to come and take shelter in. So it's been filled at the other portal because just there, I'm skimming a torch along it, you can see what looks like another archway, and the infill's been poured in. And take that away, look, you can just make out the other stone, which must also be for the portal all the way around, look. So it's hard to imagine that all this land around here was once a busy coal mining area. There was also tunnels below the ground, and it served the collieries on little barges. And there was two of them. One was built in the 1700s and one of them was built in the 1800s. There is a little bit of evidence of them. You notice also the copper oxide colour in the river. And this map and drawing gives us an idea of how these tunnels were laid out. So we got the Burbage upper level and shafts from 1754. That is the yellow line going horizontal and vertical in the centre of the map. And you can see this little white archway that would have been an entrance to one of these tunnels. Now by 1803, the Burbage lower level and shafts were constructed and operational. That goes all the way down into the tip of the village, look, just beyond that first culvert that we looked at. Totally unconnected to the culvert, but you can see the archway shown on the drawing. That was the tunnel entrance. And the Goyt New Tunnel, the more recent of the three, 1859 this was in operation, shorter than the other two, and you can see that right in the centre of the map just there. Now up here we've got some kilns, sluices and a couple of shafts that we can have a nosy around as well.
Grab the bone!
Here, boy! Fetch!
Yay!
Fetch!
Right, so down here you notice there are some pipes, and this is kind of going to be something that we're going to look at after this. So the Wye splits into two. I believe the Wye is on the left hand side, and you notice that I mentioned the old Burbage Reservoir. So up there, this is some sluice gates. Now I didn't find out this information on my own. A bit helpful from Forgotten Pumps. You follow him, don't you, on Instagram?
Oh, yeah.
So he's looked into this as well, so I'll put him up below. Follow him on Instagram. There's some sluices up there, and I believe, and so does himself, that it diverts the water with these pipes away from the Wye to top up the reservoir over the other side of the railway. So this pipe has been concreted off, look, so nothing can get down it. So how far that actually goes below this hill, it's potentially, it does poke out the other side of the railway. This bit has been stone walled either side, and the pipe does carry on. away from the other sluice up there. So as I said, there are 2 sluices, and we'll go and find the smaller one first. This old map from the mid 1800s, you can see the River Wye cutting through the map there. Now it appears that the old track bed at Goyt Colliery did in fact cross over the River Wye. Look, there's a bridge that must have been built to pass over there. It must have been the width of maybe a small culvert. If we jump to this very next map, you can see it's a little bit clearer, look, where the River Wye does in fact go underneath the former track bed. Now the 2 sluices that we're looking at, the larger one is here and the smaller one is somewhere up there. We jump to this map, look, and you can see exactly where the sluices were and where the track bed was. But notice that the bridge that carried the track bed over the Wye is non-existent. Get ourselves over there. So coping stones stacked up on top of each other, look, and looks like there's some sort of winding mechanism and a kind of a shaft. Right, so where we saw those pipes down there where the river split, you've got this shaft. We saw the pipes which we believe takes water, or did take water away to the old Burbage reservoir. So we've got the winder just here, look, this has been here a very, very long time, but we've got a shaft and there is water and a ladder. There is a ladder going down there, and that's where I believe those pipes take the water away from this, and it would have fed the reservoir down there. That is full of water in there. You can't see anything, you might be able to see a pole and some reflection. So now we've shown you the small one, the larger one down here. It's pretty much 3 times the size, and it takes you to the tip of the track bed as well, which served Goyt Colliery. Now, I'm going to shine a light down this one and maybe even show you something from below. This is quite like a spillway, isn't it, to a reservoir, but it's not. Can get you over, and again, look, not sure if I'm going to be able to get you over there, but there's another one of those hatches overlooking the weir just there. I push on around here, maybe able to get across in a shallower section where there's stones. Yeah, I can do it here, look, I think. Carefully step and jump. Right, I'm over. So this is what it looks like down below. So you've got the sluice mechanism just there. Now above that is the winding mechanism above the actual shaft. There's some sort of pipe that still feeds it, look. And you've got a ladder down and some old rungs. Now on this side, there is indeed a sluice gate, and those springs or whatever they are on there, they look maintained, don't they? This little bit of footage that we're looking at now was taken by Adam from Forgotten Pumps. He's on Instagram and his handle or username is popping up on screen right now and gives us an idea of what it looks like down below. And this photograph, that shows some mechanism below the River Wye. Now what I believe this is, looking into it further, is that mechanism up there enabled the plate above that you can see. If we zoom in a little bit closer to this photograph, that moved and the mechanism slid it across, allowing the entire amount of water flowing down the River Wye to drop down. You see it from above just here, where the water would have been captured and prevented from going down that sluice, and thus being sent along to the shaft with the ladder and out of the gate plate, or I believe it may be called a penstock, which would have been lifted to allow water to pass on through and off towards the former Burbage reservoir. Interestingly, some of that mechanism does look recently replaced and also maintained. So you've got to assume that the first one we looked at over there is very much the same as this one. It stood above this weir, this spillway, whatever we want to call it. I think right up there I can see the kiln. Right, so now we've got to walk up the hill. And this is the final part of this video. Who's looking forward to going up the big hill?
Stand a stair lift, have you brought one of them?
No, we left it at the Culvert, but we think a lot of these hills are not natural, do we? We think a lot of it is going to be spoiled from the colliery.
Spoiled.
You can just see that like lumpy ruggedness, which is a bit of a telltale giveaway from it being a colliery. So the last stop on our visit to the former Goyt Colliery, going to search for 2 kilns which are at the top of the hill. See, that's a lump of brickwork off something, look, but it's not off the kilns. That's something completely different, isn't it?
That's with like the tram road where they attach something maybe to, I don't know.
Could have been the cafe.
Cafe, yeah.
Yeah.
The buffet.
Just here we've got the 2 kilns now, or coke ovens. Could be lime, they could be clay. I think they could be lime kilns. Locals will probably correct me and us on that. So you've got one here, look, that's collapsed, look, and it's filled in. But if we go up to the top, we can see at the top it is also collapsed. So I'm not going to go too close to the edge, simply because I don't want to end up down there with a load of rubble on me. But that's fantastic. Let's put the camera inside. It's almost collapsed on itself, hasn't it? But you can see in there. So next to that one we've got this one that we could actually go inside, look. Wow, almost like an igloo, isn't it? And look at that just there. Oh, so that's been capped off at the top, but you can still get air through there as well, look. You see where both of them could breathe through to each other as well, look. Wow, I bet wild animals have had a few nights in here. You'd have a bad view, would you? Looking out there. That is nice, isn't it? Oh, I'm so pleased I found these. Fantastic stonework going across the top there, creating those arches. Now the other one, as you see, it's already collapsed there, but looks like we can have a pier down the top. Look at it. So that looks like that's just given way, hasn't it? It's collapsed, causing a much larger hole. So I'm not going to stand too close to the edge. Walk around the top. Trust me, it's a big and windy day for this. It always seems to be windy up here, though, doesn't it? Here we go, look. The angle from the opposite side. And there, might just make out just there, is the opening into the first one that we stood inside.
The lost kilns. Oh dear, why do I?
How long have you been in there?
Too long. I'm just coming out for air now, and then I'll go back in my hole.
Oh, good.
As you do. Bye bye. So that is about it. We've looked at 2 culverts, a little bit of the Culvert High Peak Railway, a couple of interesting sluices, and also 2 coke ovens, and a fantastic walk all the way up a ravine, and some even, well, questionable better company. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, it's
very much so.
Enjoyed it.
What, you're going to leave a review on TripAdvisor?
Yes, for you.
Yeah, thank you. We're going to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, try not to fall in next time.
We've got some plans, haven't we?
Right, comment down below if all of us are going wild camping, and if they should. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to book in the nice hotel in Buxton.
Yeah, that'll be the tent. From Ledmanlow, near Burbage at Buxton, we've got the beaver, we've got the pig, and we've got Martin.
Oh.
We need a nickname for you, don't we?
Yeah.
Pig senior.
Oh yeah, Grandpa Pig.
Grandad Pig.
Grandad Pig. See you the next one. I'm Man, Trek and Exploration. Don't forget to subscribe to Martin's channel. See you again. Bye for now.
Yeah.
What are they telling me about you getting a nail in the leg?
So there was
There
a
we go,
fence.
he's making excuses for
Listen,
you
let
now.
me speak. There was a fence like this, it was nothing, right? It was just bits of lats of wood. And well, I had to get over it, and as I'm going up like that, I went, I thought I'd just banged my knee. Oh my God, the pain was unbelievable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big nail sticking out. Serious puncture wound.
So is that why he was an hour
The
late?
doctors are very concerned.
Right, so we've got James, Martin and the resident beaver. So... right, gentlemen.
About to cause a landslide.
Whoa! Oh, nearly, look at that.
Two of us.
Wow, I love a good outtake.
Why did I think to do that?
Was you trying to be clever going along the pipe? Come on, Dad.
Come on, Grandad, you can do it.
Come on.
Titanium hip.
Oh, that's a nice t-shirt you've got on.
Thank you.
What is it? Look at that.
40.
What a guy.
Everyone thinks it's 37, but it's a split egg
Is
called
that
40.
your age as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's a really good place to stop here.
I'm trying to... Oh my God, Dad! Look at the state of them. Are they fresh?
Yeah.
Where from? You pick them out them culverts?
Skip at Aldi.
Bloody hell. Homeless. This is what happens when you live in a culvert. Yes, he's got in!
He's just gone in.
Oh, this is what we've all been waiting for.
Yay! He decided he was going to walk on the pipe and actually went in.
It's a bit dodgy, this.
Go back.
I'm filming it on here.
Time lapse.
Oh, is he right? Go.
Start again. The lost kilns. Oh dear, why do I?
How long you been in there?
Too long. I'm just coming out for air now and then I'll go back in my hole.
Oh, good. Bye
As you
then.
do.